Welcome to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social, where we help you stay ahead of social media trends, share the latest news, and highlight the strategies that are working to help you grow your business. Now let's join our hosts, Tristan and Jeff, in 3, 2, 1.
Does all this social media knowledge, strategies, and skills from this podcast really matter if you don't use video? The truth is, any presence is better than no presence, but without video, you're really limiting your growth. It's no secret that video is the future of all media. It's where all consumers gravitate, so executing at a higher level than your industry peers is an absolute necessity to create differentiation. You can hire a full-time videographer, but is that really sustainable? The answer is no for many, which is why it is critical that you adopt and learn video skills to allow you to create video that will stand out. Having camera presence, knowing what equipment to use and how to use it, proper lighting, video editing, music and voiceovers, scripting, and many other topics are the reason why Business Video School was created. To teach you how to develop these skills quickly and easily with over-the-top support along the way so that you never feel lost. The Business Video School is a comprehensive video education platform that delivers all of this training, but also creates actual video recipes with instructions and scripts for you to execute relevant content weekly with all of the skills you learn. And it doesn't stop there. Regular video challenges, weekly Q&As, a real estate video roadmap, a community of people learning and experimenting with video, and so much more. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Why wouldn't you join the Business Video School today? Go to www.bizvideoschool.com/open-house and register for the next open house where you'll learn more and get a chance to hear from current students and even ask them questions. That's bizvideoschool.com. Check it out.
Imagine growing a TikTok channel to over 600,000 followers. You get 5 million likes. And you wake up one day and you've been banned from TikTok. So what do? You go over to YouTube and start an account there and grow your following. Wait till you hear this. I'm going to just leave it right there, but grow a massive following in 30 days. We're having this guest back for a second time. We've stayed in close touch. I think the first time I interviewed you, Austin, was more about Google SEO. And have you evolved, my friend? And I'm excited to talk about what's been happening in your world, because this is all very relevant to real estate agents nowadays. It's relevant to your marketing, your branding, all that good stuff. And everybody knows I love this shit. So welcome back, Austin Armstrong.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back, brother. Always a privilege and a fun conversation.
Definitely. We can geek out all day. So let's try to condense that into about 45 minutes here. So let me start with first of all, you know what, we'll get to the YouTube here in a little bit, but let's talk about what happened, because you were the Google SEO guy. So kind of tell your story. They can go back and listen to the first podcast. I'll give you that episode number here shortly. But kind of give us your story, where you started, how you led into with the TikTok thing, and then what happened. And then we'll talk about your now massive growth on YouTube.
Yeah, sure. So to kind of keep this a little condensed, so I've been doing social media and digital marketing for about 17 years, starting back on MySpace. Sort of found that was my passion in life, and just kept pursuing it. I started my company, which is a digital marketing agency, Socialty Pro, about 3.5 years ago. About 3 years ago, I had gotten fired. No, I guess it wasn't 3 years ago, because it was in the pandemic. And I had gotten fired from my full-time job. And so I went all in on my agency, and that was right around TikTok was starting to blossom. And so I had the idea of, can I use this fast growing platform to actually generate leads and sales for my business, client acquisition? And so I went all in on TikTok, and mostly talking about SEO. That's what I had originally been found for on the platform, because there was other marketers on TikTok. There was other educational channels on TikTok, but there was nobody really talking about SEO and the latest SEO strategies and incorporating video into SEO and making it kind of a fun and sexy topic, because it can be extremely boring
and complicated.
Well, and complicated. Yeah. So the first like year and a half that I was on TikTok, we offered like all these other all these digital marketing and video services, but I noticed that SEO was really what was growing my account. So I leaned into that, as any good marketer does, doubling down on what works. And then my account started to grow pretty quickly on TikTok. The first year and a half, well over 100,000. I don't even remember the exact trajectory, but
which was what year? What year did you start in TikTok?
So I started October of 2019. So we're coming up on 3 years,
which was considered a very early adopter.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and at the time, I felt like I wasn't an early adopter, because Gary Vee had been talking about it for a while. But
well, comparatively to the demographic, my kids introduced it to me in the spring of 2019. And then it took me about 6 months to really say, I think I want to play with this. So I was about the same time as you, maybe a little before you, but not the same results. So carry on.
No. And so it's just my content strategies pivoted a little bit. So I proved the idea that I could use TikTok to generate leads and sales for my business. Now was the time to chronicle and outline a repeatable process so that we could help other businesses grow and spread their message and generate leads and sales on TikTok. And so that's where I started to pivot. And then I had the idea, well, I don't want to just be the TikTok guy. I want to be the short form vertical video guy, because I saw the writing on the wall that TikTok is causing this massive shift in social media. Up until TikTok came around, social media was kind of stagnant, in my opinion. All these platforms had been around for over a decade, and there was not a lot of innovation aside from Snapchat, but the writing on the wall was that vertical video is the new thing. It's here to stay. It's only going to get more adopted and bigger. And all of these other platforms started to adopt it and push these new features. And I am the type of person that doesn't like to put all their eggs in one basket. Hence my TikTok account getting deleted, which we should talk more about. And so I had the idea that TikTok's fickle. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Can I leverage short form vertical video to grow all of my social media channels? And so far, I've been able to successfully do that on all of the platforms that really have embraced it so far. So I'm at 620,000 on TikTok. I'm at 350,000 on YouTube now. I'm at 186,000 on Instagram. I'm at 147,000 followers on Facebook. Pinterest, I'm reaching, it depends on the month, but hundreds of thousands of people each month. And it's just been phenomenal. And it's the same videos. It's not like I'm creating videos for every single or unique videos for each platform.
You're repurposing.
I'm repurposing. So it's been quite the journey. And yeah, this last month in particular has just been an explosion, which is exciting.
It's fascinating. And there's a lot of different ways I could go with this. And I want to keep this very relevant, obviously, to our audience, but it's very relevant to you, the audience, to understand how this works, because this can be very impactful for you, not necessarily just going down the real estate path. And if we have time, I'll talk to you a little bit more about that. But just growing influence and what the power of growing influence can do for whatever business you have. And Austin, I tell people this all the time. I've been having a lot of calls lately because it's a very tough year in the real estate and mortgage business. And so a lot of people are struggling mightily. And the conversation I'm having with them is focus on growing an audience and growing influence in whatever it is you're passionate about, not business, and watch. People will find what you do and become loyal customers, raving fans. And people just can't get out of their own way. They just got to go out and talk about business, right? That's just the way we are. But I want to digress for a second and talk about those followers, because as we talk about that and the numbers that you've grown, which, arguably TikTok was probably the easiest growth you've had. We all know the platform has been the easiest growth. Instagram's very difficult. YouTube, very difficult. So I'm going to ask a question that I'm sure somebody's thinking. Did you buy some of these followers? I mean, how were you so successful? Because this is not, it's not easy, man.
No, I know. The short answer is no. I have never bought a single follower. And in fact, I've never spent $1 on advertising as well.
Wow.
For my entire business, not just social media growth, but I've kind of been a stickler on it, for better or worse. I really want to practice what I preach. That's the differentiator and the value proposition of my agency, is that I know this stuff works because I've never spent $1 on advertising. I've proven it for myself first. So with that being said, yeah, it's freaking hard. But remember that this is my full-time job. So it's what I do to figure out the algorithm shifts, paying attention to the analytics, paying attention to what's working and what's not working, and doubling down on what's working, because I've found that it's very much a momentum game. So if you put out a hit and then you put out a freaking turd the next video, the following video is probably not going to live up to its full potential, because it's riding off of that last individual video. So the more that you can focus on doubling down on what exactly is working, the format, the titling, the descriptions, if you're using hashtags, if you anecdotally, personally, for your account, find something that's working, just keep doing that. Keep doing it over and over and over again. And for me, it's been these really broad top of the level or top of the funnel videos that have just worked across the board. And that's been more of a growth phase for me, and a difference in where I'm funneling people, and a difference in content strategy. So for just to give everyone an example, up until this, like when I started with SEO and digital marketing tactics and strategies, kind of mid funnel was really specific videos. Like, here's 3 ways to get more backlinks into your website if you want to increase your domain authority. And like, that's a really specific video that you're either interested in or not. Like, you have to have a website. You have to understand at least what a backlink is.
I was just going to say, understand what you even hell you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So it eliminates a large amount of people. And for a period of time, that's what I wanted. You know, I wanted to talk to a target clientele, but now I have a different funnel and a different approach to how I'm creating content, because I have other bigger picture, longer term goals that I'm focusing on. But what I started to do was expand that interest in the content. So focusing on, here's 5 websites that feel illegal to know. Well, that's everybody. That everybody's interested in that. And maybe that's too broad, but it's really worked for me. And to hone it in a little bit, I typically will show useful websites for business owners, entrepreneurs, or aspiring business owners or entrepreneurs, because I want to bring all of those people into my ecosystem. That's the very top of the funnel. Even if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur 2 years from now, I want to be the first person that you think about when it comes to strategy and a trusted resource online. And so that's what's really worked for me across the board, is these top of the funnel, super broad videos. And I can dive deeper into what's been working on YouTube if you want, but that's the real answer. And it's consistency. You know, I post every single day. There's not a right answer of how many you need to post for your account. For me personally, I'm currently doing a minimum of 1 per day. Typically, it's more like 2 or 3 per day. It used to be a lot more than that, but I'm trying to increase the quality and the messaging of the video rather than just like blanketing the field. Yeah. But yeah, it's been fun, man.
Well, there's a couple of things you said there that I want to unpack, and let's go. I want to go back to what you said about not putting all your eggs in one basket. And it's something that Tristan and I have been talking a lot about, more specifically because a lot of people have been getting hacked on Instagram. And so we've been telling people, like, there's no guarantee you're going to get your account back, but this is more reason why you need the two-factor authentication, but also that you should be producing your content on your phone, editing it in an editing app, and then uploading that one video, as you mentioned, multi-purposing to a bunch of different places. So that way, if one of your accounts crashes and you're creating all of your reels in Instagram, or you're creating all your TikToks in TikTok, you're screwed. You just lost all your stuff, right? And so I'm glad you said that, because that is very important for people to understand. We tell everybody, don't get overwhelmed and focus on one platform at a time, with the ultimate goal of doing exactly what Austin just mentioned. You're creating one video and then either taking that one video and posting it everywhere, or taking that one video and chopping it up into smaller videos and posting it everywhere. And you're just increasing your reach. Yeah. But you also said, this is my full-time job. And I think that's what agents want to hear. Like, yeah, see, I don't have time for that. And so my argument to that is, I'm in mortgage, but I figured out a way to scale myself out of the daily mortgage business, because the social media business is what's making it rain. Mm-hmm. And my partners aren't even questioning me spending all of my time creating content every day and hosting webinars and podcasts, because I'm making it rain through influence. And I want agents and real estate agents, I want you to understand this. Like, if you don't stop what you're doing at some point in your business lifespan and dedicate an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day to this, which is prospecting, you're going to ride the hamster wheel for the rest of your career. You're probably going to burn out. You're not going to enjoy this job. You're going to get passed by everybody who's embracing the technology and the TikToks and the videos and the YouTubes and the people that are building brands. And it doesn't matter how much your client loved working with you. Over the 3 to 5 year span between when they need to buy again, they're going to have fallen in love with another person, another realtor on one of these platforms, and they forgot about you. And plus, your CRM sucks, because all you're doing is dropping emails to them, telling them that 10 tips to get your house ready to sell in the spring, which they don't give a shit about. And so I wanted to hammer that in as we progress forward, because I want, again, keep this very relevant to the audience. What you're doing, you're a damn anomaly. You are, but it is duplicatable. And maybe not at the same scale. For some, maybe, for very few. But imagine, if you're a real estate agent listening to this, most of you probably have like less than 1,000 followers on Instagram, for example. And imagine what it would look like if you had 10,000. Like, that would be that's a grand slam for your business. Same thing on TikTok, same thing on Facebook. YouTube, of course, you're monetizing at that point. You're making decent money, probably. And so let's talk about that. So, you unpacked a little bit about what your strategy is and how you've built it. And first of all, everybody should go download, follow Austin on whichever platform you spend your time on, because you're going to see the same content. Go to all of them if you want, just to see how he repurposes. Instagram, I recommend Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Socialty Pro. And just check it out and learn from Austin, not because you're going to emulate the content, but because you're going to emulate the style, and you're going to take your own content and emulate the style. But so let's talk about this. So you blew this up on TikTok, you got banned, you jumped over to focus on YouTube. Tell us about where your YouTube was at that time, which was what, 30 days ago, if that?
Yeah, this is like the most mind-boggling thing ever. So it took me 3 years to get to 5,000 subscribers, over 600 uploads, by the way. A lot of those are shorts, by the way.
Because you were multi-purposing.
Yeah, multi-purposing. Have been doing it for 3 years. Lots of failures. This wasn't a get-rich-quick thing. A lot of studying, a lot of A/B testing. And then, yeah, so 3 years to 5,000 subscribers. And then I just doubled down. I had like a little epiphany. I'm working with YouTube coaches, by the way. Get a coach, hire Jeff, hire Tristan, whatever you got to do. Hire coaches, invest in yourself. It's the best thing you can ever do. But just to chat and talk about different ideas. This worked, this didn't work. And I had this epiphany, well, rather than just posting everything and repurposing every video over there, I'm only going to focus on posting the top performing videos. And those were the useful website videos. And almost immediately after doing that, like 2-3 days in, one of them exploded. It's now past 14 million views. And that unlocked like every other relevant short on the video or on my channel that was dormant. And so I went from 5,000 to I hit that 100,000 subscriber mark in, I think, 3 days.
Holy
That's how
shit.
fast it grew. Yeah. And it's slowed down now, but I'm still doing 800,000 views every 48 hours, gaining 2,000 to 3,000 followers a day. I'm now at 351,000 subscribers.
So where were you on August 1st?
On August 1st, let's see if we can go back in time real quick, because I don't know exactly. I will say while I'm looking this up real quick, the craziest thing that I've got to be like, this isn't a brag, but like I wasn't even monetized at the time. So I actually got my silver play button before my channel was monetized.
Oh, wasn't that crazy? Which isn't necessarily the goal for everybody listening to this, but you know, monetization is like a cherry on top at this point. It's like, you know, I get paid for my reels. I get paid, there's the creator fund and TikTok, which isn't much, but it's something. And it's like I always tell my wife, I mean, I'm making 100, 200 bucks a month on Instagram because I'm doing what I'm already doing. If anything, it just motivates me to stay very consistent and be doing it every day. Right. But yeah, hell, that's paying for a dinner that we're going out to. I mean, this is just extra bonus stuff. Oh, and by the way, I'm growing influence for my business while I'm doing this. And the reason I bring that up is because when you get to monetization on YouTube, like that's where the bucks are. That platform's got it figured out. And I don't know if you probably haven't realized this yet, but 12 months from now, I can't even imagine how much money you're going to be raking in from the monetization on YouTube.
I'm excited about what's coming.
I would be.
So I just, and we'll talk about that too. Yeah, I just looked it up. So the like growth started on August 19th. So August 1st, I was at 5,000 and change, 5,010, something like that. I was gaining like 6 subscribers a day. Was the average.
You should have done what Mr. Beast did and gone live with a tracker of how your growth was happening, man.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I was on vacation. I was actually out of the country. That's the even crazier thing. I couldn't capitalize on anything. And my wife was getting mad at me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm sitting on the beach in Mexico. And I'm like, I just gained 50,000 subscribers today, one day. And I'm telling her, we're sipping mezcalitas, and I'm like, look, it went up again.
It's so crazy, man.
It was crazy, man. So like I was just chronicling the journey on Facebook and Instagram as it was happening, just like sharing it as best as I could. But yeah, I didn't even have my computer with me.
Well, and if you go to his YouTube channel and you're looking at Socialty Pro and you go to you click on the video tab, you'll notice that it's like 3 or 4 shorts for every long form. And probably most of that, Austin, is just repurposing, right? You're not necessarily creating anything new. You probably are just taking all the stuff that you've done over the years. And of course you're continuing to do new stuff, but.
So now they're only new. I only put up new content. And that was, so I was doing that up until it exploded. And when it exploded, I said, okay, I gotta like do this the right way and capitalize on this, not be too lazy. So I only upload and create new original content for YouTube. Yeah.
As I'm scrolling here, I see myself on your page. Huh? I love it.
Hey,
where is the
So I'll say one other interesting thing here real quick is this might be an interesting tidbit for people. But when you find a title and a combo that works, do it over and over again. So Jeff, if you sort my videos by most viewed, they're all the same title, word for word.
Most popular is what they do.
Yeah, most popular. Yeah.
Okay.
Every title is exactly the same.
No shit, you son of a bitch. Top 5 most useful website, top 5 most useful website, top 5 most useful website, top 5 most useful, and then it jumps to 3 life-changing websites. Top 5 most useful web, top 5 new AI websites. Wow. Interesting.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Wow. And
We're
yeah,
in-
and here, so let me validate this. So the first one, 14 million views. The next one, 780,000, 765,000, 784,000, 692,000. I mean, and they all have the same title.
Yep. So this is something that's probably going to get fixed, but this is an exploitable opportunity right now. And we've tested this across 3 channels so far. And it's working.
And this is crazy because every one of these top performing videos are all shorts and they have no thumbnails. Because if you understand YouTube, there is no thumbnail with shorts. And so it's not even sexy looking. There's nothing sexy about it on the surface.
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's the opportunity, people, that you have right now, that, you know, and this goes back to focusing on short form, focusing on TikTok and Instagram reels, one or the other, or do them together. Right. And then adding shorts is just a side piece, essentially. Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. So good. How important are the keywords in this success?
So I don't add any tags to the videos. I think titling, and a lot of them I don't even add. Like, all I'm adding in the description is like repeating the title and then a call to action, like click this link to get more useful websites, which I'm using as my lead gen opt-in. But yeah, I mean, your title matters. And you know what I had found, and just studying the 600 failures essentially, is if I gave the information away in the title, it didn't perform as well as if I just caused intrigue. So top 5 most useful websites is very broad. It's very interesting. It doesn't tell me top 5 useful websites to grow your business online. That's too specific. If you don't have a business, you're not interested in that video, right? So keeping it really broad, piquing interest, is what seems to be working. So test out, like, an actionable step that you can do is actively test out really broad interest specific titles. Listicles obviously do really well. People love listicles rather than single topic videos. Seem to right now.
Explain what that term is, just assuming that everybody knows what that is.
Yeah, good point. A list of something, you know, top 5 useful websites is a list of 5 things. And I think it works because it continues to hit the dopamine receptors, right? Like, if you're continuing to trigger, like, useful website number 1 does this thing and it's amazing. Useful website number 2 does this thing and it's amazing. Useful website 3 does this thing and it's amazing, right? So it keeps triggering the interest levels and hits our dopamine receptors. Test that out when you have a title and a video topic that does way better than the rest. And early on, this might be if most of your shorts do, you know, a couple hundred views or 0 views, never hits the short shelf, and you have one that does 3,000, 4,000 views, which is very common for a video to just peak that or scratch that surface. Do it again. Use that same title, that same, not like the exact same video, like redo it, but make it as similar.
Really? That was my next question. So these aren't the same title with different videos. It's the same general idea, but done differently.
Yeah, most of them are the same format, but different information in it. So it's not the same 5 websites over and over again. It's 5 new websites.
Fascinating. So as you unpack this, and by the way, this is very specific to YouTube right now, what we're talking about. I assume the same application is not necessarily applicable to Instagram or TikTok.
So well, it kind of is. So same thing on Instagram specifically. I will copy and paste a description that works on the next video. If it worked, like if the description is like, here's 5 life-changing websites that you need to know about, and then it says follow Socialty Pro for more useful websites. By the way, the link in my bio has even more useful websites for you that you can sign up with. And then That's typically it. I stopped using hashtags about a month and a half or two ago. Always experimenting and testing. But if that works for me, that hits, 30, 40,000 views on Reels, which for me, they typically do. Okay, I'm going to do that same thing again. It's a little bit different of the optimization than YouTube, of course. But I just literally copy that description, upload new video, paste that description, let it do its thing. And on TikTok, sort of similar too. TikTok's a little bit different because we're leaning into the SEO space on TikTok right now. That's the big conversation. So, and they just expanded the character count on there too. So like if, sidebar here, if you're not leveraging SEO for TikTok, start doing it, because that's another huge opportunity for you.
And just giving a quick explanation of what that means. Yeah.
So if a search engine is anywhere that you search for information and get a result.
Google.
So, Google. Yeah. YouTube, also a search engine. And I've had this opinion forever. I think we probably talked about it the first time that I was on, but every social media platform is a search engine. People are just looking for information differently. And that's now been proven because like TikTok is the preferred search engine for Gen Z, and really becoming more of a search engine for everybody because we're visual learners. And, the perfect example that I like to share about this is if you're traveling and you're going to a new city and you search on Google for best things to do in Alexandria, Virginia, you're going to get that same dumb TripAdvisor list that's manipulated. That's a couple restaurants that are overrated and museums, and here's a dog park. Right. Yeah. And that's not what I want to do. And that's not what anybody wants to do when they're traveling to a new area. So you type that same thing on TikTok, date night ideas in XYZ city. You can do this for real estate too. Like, there's a million searches, best things to do in XYZ city. You're going to get videos on that specific search that show you what you're going to experience. And it's a much more powerful and relatable search result than just reading like a text-based blog article or something like that. So, having that, optimizing the post, the description of that video around what the video is about, making it searchable, inserting keywords in there, putting in relevant hashtags too, if you want. I think hashtags in general are becoming less and less relevant, to be honest, because the algorithms are getting better and better. But focusing on a keyword-rich description is going to be a fantastic strategy for you
and keyword and hashtags are essentially the same thing, except it's a little bit more dry because people now are starting to type in sentences, and that's I think the point you're trying to get across. It's just like Google. What does someone type into a Google search? They don't just type in one word, they type in a sentence. And so if you can basically if you can optimize what the algorithm's going to find when they type in that question, like that's the key. And you mentioned this real quick, top 5 places to eat in X city, top 5 kid-friendly places, top 5 parks, top 3, whatever. Like that, honestly, as a real estate agent, that's where your focus should be leaning. I don't know if you know this about what I've been doing with my TikTok channel, which is I've niched down to Lake of the Ozarks, which is a very defined area, and I've been blowing up. And I think over the last 60 days, I've got almost 4 million views, and
wow, good for you, man.
It's really exploding. I'm gaining followers, and it's creating conversations. I've actually had a couple buyers reach out to me because I've been highlighting some listings, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah. But it's not all about real estate. It's about lifestyle. It's about the area, and people are eating it up. And, so I'm doing it really as more of a test case. But the other thing I wanted to mention was, and you've probably heard this, but TikTok's talking about in beta, you know how it's following and for you, and they're soon going to have a location-based feed.
Love that.
Yes, they're talking about adding a location-based feed. So this is such a huge opportunity, which is why I'm just going all in. So I'm of course hashtagging, of course, Lake of the Ozarks, any tag, because I want TikTok to notice that, because I think it will. And when it goes location-based, it's going to blow me up even more because I'm going to be the guy who just crushes that particular market. And so you as an agent have such an opportunity to just hone in on. And for me, I live in St. Louis. I wouldn't do all of St. Louis. I would do a pocket, a town within St. Louis, and then build out 2 or 3 of them. But I think that's where you're going to win, is really niching down rather than trying to go broad. But I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think that's a great idea. And there's different approaches for what you want to get. So niching down and going really location specific is going to get you more of local interest. If your goal is to just read, like my goal is not to reach local people right now. So I have a different content strategy. I'm trying to reach everybody, but having a clear understanding of what your goals are, that's what you really need to define. So if you want to be the Ozark person of your city and town and be there when this wave is going to come, because it is coming, you got to do that. Start talking about it, optimize your profiles, say, Ozark real estate agent or whatever, have that in the top line of your description or your bio on there. Regularly say it in your content, turn on your captions because that's indexable as well. Use those location specific hashtags. It's huge, man.
Yeah. I totally agree. And I took you away from where you were going with this because I had you explain the SEO piece of it. But that's insanely important, because if you haven't been paying attention to what Tristan and I are talking about on Drunk on Social, we've been talking about it. Like, that's huge news, because not only is it opportunity for you, but it's TikTok's next level of, hey, we're going to compete with Google and YouTube. Obviously TikTok has its sights on YouTube, period. That's very clear. And I'm not saying it's ever going to impact YouTube. It never will. I think they both have a place in this world, but it shows you that TikTok is so freaking smart, and they're doing things right. Even though Austin has a sore spot right now in his heart for TikTok, which leads me back to, I'd like to get your opinion on this, because Tristan and I talk about this, and I'm like, at what point is Adam Mosseri and Instagram going to figure out that the base reason why TikTok has exploded is because of the growth? And if Instagram just sits in the damn boardroom and says, let's open up the algorithm and let people grow, that's the reason why people are that's what sucks people into TikTok. Cause it's the dopamine. I post video, I get 10,000 views, 1 million views, 100,000 views. I'm in. Like, this is fucking addicting. Right. And Instagram, that's really hard to do. And so it's like, what is your opinion on Instagram? I mean, we all know that they're followers, but gosh, is it really that simple? Do you think they should just do that?
I think they've lost their way a little bit. They seem to be just like spinning that hamster wheel and have no idea what to do. And they're just frantically trying everything to hold attention. They're really like, it seems like they're playing defense rather than playing offense. And they lost their core way of what people were really interested in the beginning. People, like, they stopped. And this was years ago, they stopped embracing what made Instagram and started copying all of the competitors that were coming up. Mm-hmm. And this has been the case for 6-7 years at this point, really since like Facebook acquired them. But they just adopt all of these other features. And that's kind of the nature of these social media platforms.
Copycat.
I digress here for a second. TikTok just incorporated Now. I don't know if you got that, but to take out, the
Be Real,
exactly, which is an interesting move on TikTok's part. But that's kind of the nature of all these platforms. But to answer your question, like, what should Instagram do? I think just lean into what they've done best in the past and give creators more of a reason to create on there and not just be a copycat platform. Opening the algorithm up, I think they kind of have done to some extent. The easiest time to grow on Instagram has been now, in my opinion, because of the organic reach potential of Reels. So we've, like, my channel is 99% a Reels channel. I upload very few photos sometimes, though. We have some clients that are 100% Reels, and they do very well. So if you want to grow on Instagram, you have to, and really any platform, you have to embrace what format that they're pushing and test out the different capabilities of those features so you can figure out what works and then double down. That's really the analytical approach to figuring out. But if you go all in on Reels, you stay consistent, you keep trying to improve 1% on each video, you're going to have success on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it, but
I agree. Well, and for the record, every video you post to Instagram, unless it's a story, is a reel. Whether it's 15 seconds or 3 minutes, it's a reel now. But you're right. And I didn't even realize this with my own, is like, I just completely stopped posting static posts, even though the Kardashians and everybody was screaming, make Instagram again. And I did a couple videos about this, and I do mashups with Adam Mosseri videos. And I'm just like, you say you're going to keep it Instagram, but we all know you're not going to, because you're too obsessed with copying TikTok. And you're so afraid you're going to lose all of your people. And frankly, all the people that say keep Instagram again, I get it, but you're not running a business. And as whatever you are in your business, if you decide to just completely plateau and stop growing, that's what Instagram would do if they didn't evolve. And so again, I get it as a consumer, but put your other hat on. And I do believe Instagram has to evolve and go video centric. They're too deep now. They can't go back to what they were. Now, if they had stayed and Meta never bought them, maybe they would be just fine, but that's long history, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it probably will be hard for any of these platforms to truly innovate to something that hasn't been done, because how do we consume information? Visually, audibly, and written, right? Yeah. Video, audio, text is typically how we is really the only way that we can consume. So unless somebody comes out with something that triggers another sense, and we have the virtual reality stuff, there's only so many ways that innovation can be done, right? So it's interesting to think about that and have like a thought experiment, like what is something that, and maybe, I ask you, Jeff, what do you think one of these big platforms could do to innovate rather than just copy one another? I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's going to be a level of VR that's going to start playing a bigger role.
VR, AR maybe.
Yeah. I mean, and I do think it's going to be less technology based and more, concept based, like the location, feed, for example. I think that's brilliant. And I think it's going to be very impactful for businesses, because those that dominate that quote unquote hashtag or that location are going to have such a leg up. And you need to get in now. Don't wait until this happens. Do it now, because the algorithm will pay attention. But people love, as my content is proving, the people love a sense of community. And they love their community, and they love their city, and they love their local businesses. And if you're the one lifting that community up, you become, it's like going back to, the various gods, the sun, the god of sun, and the god of the wind, and you're the god of the community. And I know it's a strong representation, but that's kind of what it is. You're a damn celebrity. And guess what happens with celebrities? Like, they get more opportunities. And it's the same concept for a real estate agent. When you put up that billboard, you couldn't reflect your production. You can't put much on there. People just drive by it every day, and they just associate you with real estate, and you become the expert, even though you might not have done shit. You just paid for a billboard, right? And you just have, the reach is so much more exponential and so much larger now and more authentic. I want to end with this. I want to have you give a nugget for the audience, because we could go on, and we probably will.
I know we could. Everything you say is like taking my mind in a different direction.
You know what I was actually thinking, we probably should do something in Drunk on Social as an ongoing, like, weekly freaking fireside chat.
I just love chatting about this stuff.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. But, what would be the best piece of advice? So we kind of talked about your little journey here. I mean, this is just, it's powerful. It's crazy. You told people where they need to go check you out. You're doing some awesome things for other people, which I want you to plug. But first, like, what would be one great piece of advice for a real estate agent? Because I know that you dabble in that world and you speak to those people as well. What should somebody be doing if they're just kind of stuck in a rut and not doing much, which is most?
Well, I think they should do exactly what you said, is lean into your authenticity. If you're getting bored with the same type of videos that seemingly every real estate agent is making now, if here's what $500,000 can get you in Houston, Texas, lean into your authenticity, show more of who you are, tell your story, tell your journey. Take people to the places that you like to go in the city, that you take your kids, that you go to dinner. What does a date night for you look like? All of these things, that's how you're going to build that trust and rapport. But work in some top of the funnel things too. Think about, sit down and think about what content can you create that would attract the most amount of potential people that would be interested in, even if they're not where you want them to be now. Maybe in 2 or 3 years they will be. What content can you create so that you are top of mind for them, and work that into your content strategy as well if you want to grow and stay top of mind with way more people. And stay consistent as well, because that's the name of the game. Don't get frustrated if you don't get 100,000 subscribers in 28 days. That's really unrealistic. It's unsustainable for many people. It was kind of just an algorithmic fluke, but it happened. It could happen for you too. But stay consistent with it. Keep trying new things and have fun.
Yeah, good things will come. Good things will come. And if they want to, if somebody says, "Listen, man, I want you in my corner," what does that look like for them?
Yeah. So connect with me anywhere you want. Socialty Pro. There's another Austin Armstrong out there. Don't go to that guy. I'm the I'm the 32-year-old Caucasian white guy, not the unfortunately, I'll never be the most famous Austin Armstrong. But yeah, there's a couple of things that we do. So I offer hourly consulting. So if you want to get together and do a content strategy together, go over your account audits, that's all things that I can help you out with, and just be really transparent and give you the keys to the castle, so to speak. But we also offer a full management service. I have a full dedicated TikTok and vertical video team. So we do everything through helping you develop the content strategy, coaching you on how to actually shoot the videos and execute the videos. We do the editing and the posting and management for you. So all you need to do is be the expert that you are, and we handle the rest.
I love it, man. I love it. Dude, we're going to have to keep talking. I hope the audience enjoyed this as much as we did. I don't know if that's possible. I know one person that will enjoy this, and that's Tristan. He's going to be like, damn it. But I don't feel sorry for him because he's in Hawaii right now as we're recording this. So, and he didn't invite me along. He goes out there to speak social, and I'm like, damn you. How did I draw the short end of that stick? But dude, this has been great. Obviously we're going to continue to chat, and we're going to do more together. And you're awesome, folks. You need to go follow Austin. Honestly, just the content that you put out. I mean, that's what turned us on to you in the first place, because we saw your stuff and we're like, damn, he's got some really good tips in here and some very applicable stuff. I mean, not everything's always going to be applicable to everybody, but it's really good stuff. It's a great strategy also, that you can emulate and make it your own. And so Austin's got it all figured out. And dude, I love it, man. Looking forward to staying in touch.
Always, brother. Thanks for having me on again.
Thanks for listening to Social Genius, brought to you by Drunk on Social. We are here to help you take your business to new levels through social media. Make sure to subscribe to get updates on new episodes, and come join us on our Drunk on Social Facebook page. And as always, make sure you leave us a great review on your favorite podcast app. Feedback and likes are very much appreciated.